Hey everyone, thanks for hanging out with me this week. We're going to have a good time like we always do. Question for everybody. As we start thinking about the word success, not only how would you define it, but what does it look like? Here's why I'm sharing all this with you this week, because again, my belief on this, I think sales success, the success that you have as a sales professional, is about taking complete ownership. You see, those sales professionals, those who rise to the top, who are always at the top, they aren't waiting for ideal conditions. They're simply not waiting for the ideal conditions. Things like a better territory, better leads, however you define better leads. These people aren't waiting until it's easier. You know what these sales professionals are doing? They are taking massive amounts of responsibility. They're taking massive amounts of initiative. And most importantly, these sales professionals, they do something better than any other salesperson out there. They follow through with deep commitment. Now, here's the question I have for y'all this week. Besides, how would you define success and what does it look like? What does deep commitment look like to you? Not occasional commitment, not when you feel like commitment, but what's deep commitment look like to y'all? High performers, these elite of the elite professionals out there in the sales world. You know what? They don't become disciplined when they reach the top. They just don't. Their discipline, their massive amounts of discipline is what gets them there. Is consistently doing the right things right, holding themselves radically accountable. Not wavering from the responsibility to themselves. Did you key in on that? Not wavering from the responsibility to themselves, because high performers, and I'm speaking to you high performers out there, high performers show up with a positive attitude. Even when sometimes their results might lag, because let's just face it, they're humans. These high performers, they absolutely refuse to make excuses when things don't go their way. They take full responsibility. The finger points at them. The finger does not point anywhere else. Key in on that one. These high performers, they finish what they start every single time. They go all in. They go all in on everything they do. They finish it completely, never wavering from it. You starting to think about this a little bit? I sure hope so. This is all about reliability, folks. Reliability with these high performers becomes their reputation. Trust becomes their currency. And consistency. Radical amounts of consistency becomes their competitive edge. I want us to key in on those three things for a moment. In this hyper-competitive business world, your reliability is your reputation. Trust. In a world where salespeople are swimming for it, trust is these people's currency. And radical amounts of consistency is their competitive edge. So those of you who want to win in the long term and create what I often refer to as long-term sales sustainability, you're going to have to do the work that others avoid, that others find excuses for. And as I get you to deeply think about it this week, I'm going to leave you all with this to think about. There's a reason why I've always thrown a stake in the ground at Selling from the Heart about the difference between sales reps and sales professionals. Unfortunately, that gap's becoming wider and wider and wider and wider on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be that way. If you want to achieve the results that no one's achieving, then you have to be willing to do the work that no one is doing. Outwork everybody, outcare everybody. Give a rip about yourself. Watch what starts happening to your career. Again, how would you define success? What does that look like? And there's a reason why I'm bringing this to the surface this week. It's my deep, deep, deep belief and commitment in this. Your clients and your future clients, they'd rather connect to and do business with a highly successful sales professional who sells from the heart, as opposed to a sales rep who is nothing more than an empty suit. It's time. It's time we eradicate all the empty suits and elevate the bar in the sales world. I deeply appreciate you. Have a great week.